Oh, I should have actually like
I don't know how
do things for my character sheet and if it not.
you know that compared to being a vampire are two completely different things.
Absolutely. I think a thinker's going to be more concerned about the vampire thing if he finds out. But at present, he just knows, a lot about the occult. Doesn't mean you're as bad as a value of a human being. Just something he notices.
So, we left off with a thinker on the ground. Hands on his face, buried into them, before he looked up and was like, "Teach me."
Cut to title screen. Deadlands, the Weird West.
Deadlands, parentheses. That's a little strange, old branch, yeah.
Oh god, all the titles of each episode are gonna be like puns. Like, need a little voodoo in your life, magic slapstick, or song references, like it's a Fallout game.
We can only hope.
Oh gosh.
Currently, I have not been doing that, but I am gonna go back and rename every session a funny thing.
Oh, you don't have to, but if you do, I will gladly read them.
So what is this? A funny thing happened on the way to Death Valley.
What?
Oh gosh, is that the name of the first or second episode? Life in Death Valley.
No, I'm more of a classics guy. I was just thinking of the Broadway musical A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which also had a great movie made of it.
Huh. I'll look it up later.
No, it has Zero Moselle in it.
Okay, found it. Okay. So, now that we did our cold open, should we do fate chips now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get one white, one red, one blue.
Excelente.
I need to. Actor said she could come and help me with like setting up some things for my character.
As soon as I refresh the page, I'll be in. All right.
So I'm just gonna look down and go, get a hold of yourself, boy. I told you there was stuff that you wouldn't accept in your worldview, Horatio.
Okay.
That was before you had evidence. Now it's
Oh,
just
no, that was
Oh,
that was before you had evidence.
Yeah, right.
that was before you presented evidence, good sir. The burden of proof is on you for
I say, the burden of proof is on you, good sir.
I have to try not to fall into Foghorn Leghorn. I have to try.
You mean Mark Twain?
Either. I mean,
who Foghorn Leghorn is based off of.
I did not know that. Okay.
I would not.
Even
See,
though that
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, wasn't Mark Twain around like Northeast?
Yeah,
No, well, Mark Twain was born, lived in Connecticut before he died, but I believe he was originally from Missouri.
Oh.
Like this should not be changed.
And he was a riverboat captain prior to the Civil War on the Mississippi.
That's what he's claimed the name Mark Twain comes from, is the depth of riverboating.
I thought he was a dock worker in the Northeast.
No, he worked on a riverboat. The term Mark Twain is when they would throw a sounding weight over a bow if it didn't hit bottom. And so instead of, Mark 1, meaning you have got like 1 fathom of depth, Mark 2, you've got 2 fathoms. When it would go past where they considered all clear, they'd just call it Mark Twain.
Yeah. And I thought he got
It's
that from
also
being a dock worker, but
It's
yeah,
also
I could believe
been-
him being a riverboat captain.
He was a riverboat captain. He loved riverboats.
I like riverboats.
I say the burden of proof is on you for outlandish claims, good sir.
Well,
Maybe that's why
would
we're
you
here.
consider yourself enlightened?
I'm not sure about Taoist beliefs, but assuming, of course, you're not going to tell me that's real too.
That is not something that I've been introduced to.
All right. I would say I definitely am more experienced now, though I'm not exactly more knowledgeable. I don't understand why it is, but I know it is.
And I figured, yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right. I think he's going to pick himself up. All right. So, monsters in the caves. That's, not good. We should tell someone. We should tell everybody. People ought to know.
But people will probably have the same type of reaction you did.
Well, just show them who you are. That'll be fine. Okay,
I'm
maybe not you. I point to Mythic, his character. Maybe not you, but, well,
And I'm just an old man. I've just seen lots of things in my years.
Add a character. I want to scrutinize that.
Okay.
I doubt I'm gonna win, but
What do I have to do?
I have to open up my sheet so I can figure out what skills you.
I probably wouldn't. I can do. I've got persuasion fairly well. I've got there's one in here that's equivalent to bluff, I thought.
Tale telling?
No.
equivalent to bluff?
There is just
Oh,
bluff.
I've got bluff. Yeah.
Yeah. So you roll bluff, he rolls scrutinize.
Okay.
Hmm.
You don't believe him.
Now, good sir, while it is true you are the one being ingracious in your honesty about the nature of reality, you wouldn't be telling me a little diddly-darn old fib now, wouldn't you?
A fib about what? Do you think I'm a young man?
I think there's more to your talent set than meets the eye. You are a card shark. Does a magician reveal all his secrets up front? I don't believe so.
I wouldn't necessarily call myself a card shark,
Now,
but
that is definitely a lie. I've seen you at the tables.
well, no, I said I wouldn't call myself a card shark. I didn't say I'm not good at cards.
You have a way you have a way of using words for deception. I too am rather familiar. Out of character, my bluff is also 5.
Okay, that's fine. I will say it was going to be if every time I'm talking you're going to do a bluff versus scrutinize.
No. Just maybe
This is
once
like the
in a while.
4th time you've done it.
It is? I thought it was the first.
No, you did it like 2 or 3 times in the last game.
Oh. I did it with the card, trying to see if you were a huckster spot on the cards, definitely, but...
Yeah.
And I do admit that, but I'll keep it rare, I promise. From here on out. Alright, well, tell you what. For one reason or another, you think people aren't ready to hear the truth. And while I think that is the ultimate evil, to not give people information, I respect your decision since you have more information. Though I do ask eventually, you come to trust that a scientist will be willing to accept evidence when it is presented.
I did tell you.
You did, but that's not
And
evidence.
I have never had problems telling people individually, but let's face it, people individually you can deal with and manage. People in groups, that's another story.
Why?
All I'm gonna say is that, like, if they acknowledge me as real, I don't think that's gonna change the fact that they're gonna want to shoot me down.
And I'd say my general impression has been of groups, sir, especially after seeing how people in the South acted, is that while individuals themselves can be upstanding and good, groups are deplorable. And you can take the person's individual intelligence and divide it amongst the number of people that are around them, and that tends to be how stupid they act.
Y'all stupid, is what Grandpa just said.
Alright.
Who's Grandpa? Oh no, if you're talking to me, no, I'm using when I was in a LARP many years ago, one of the members of plot had a saying, and it made perfect sense. Take an individual person's IQ, divide it by the number of PCs that he's surrounded himself with, and that tends to be the level of thought that they have. And it's just a good general rule.
Alright. Well then, Doc Bo, what do you propose with this information and our circumstances? How do you think we should approach this?
I'm proposing that as much as I deplore firearms, I go into town and get my hands on a scatter gun. Because I heard that those don't take a lot of skill to use. We head back to the mines and we try to deal with this because we will be in a better shot of dealing with this than poor miners.
And you really don't believe telling more people is going to do any good?
I don't think so with what I've seen in this town as it is.
Well, alright then. Although the truth is never hidden for long, Doc Bo. If what you said in Gettysburg, 13 years is a long time.
And I told many of people about it for the first few years, and most people seem to have your style, and I got tired of being treated like a madman.
Well, maybe if you showed up with some pictures and a graph, maybe that'll convince him.
I didn't have a camera on me at the time, sir.
Well, there we go. We'll get a camera. Problem solved. Evidence.
If you want evidence, how about we just kill it?
Yes, I agree. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go into town. I'll come with you. I know the store owner. I work for him. I can set you up some real nice.
Would be appreciated.
All right. And what about you, Alistair? Out of character is Alistair, right?
Yes, Alistair.
Okay. Almost said Alexander. And what about you, Alistair?
I got myself covered.
All right. I think I can ask the Collegium for clearing out the wildlife in the caves, I'll see if I can requisition an ultrasonic repeller. It's a loud alarm that tends to scare animals. It may or may not work, and if that doesn't work, well, we could try gassing them out for a day or two. Collegium should have something real nice that'll be heavier than air, but should be not too hard to clear out with enough fans. That way, the mine will still be operational when we're done.
Like a
That
plan.
would be useful.
Alright. Let's get to it.
That's what will get you back in here during town.
Hmm.
I guess we'll get you in here in town.
I figured.
Now.
You reckon? Remember, remember, everything in this game is a contraction. All the aptitudes, all the hindrances, everything is a contraction.
That is not easy for me to do.
You don't have to do it.
You ain't got a problem with it.
Alright, so I think we got our plan, Marshall. We'll head into town, stock up on stuff, try and convince the mayor to let us have a day or two to try and deal with the wildlife, and try and go from there.
Yep.
Perhaps life that is a little wilder than usual.
Alright, so you head into town. Bloop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo.
Here's a question looking at it. Is the Colt revolving shotgun a cap and ball like it was historically, or I don't see it
Yes.
that way?
The Colt revolving shotgun. So here's the thing. For one reason or another, a lot of really old cap and ball guns, somehow, I don't know the exact mechanics, but somehow are cartridge conversion. If you want to get a Colt revolving shotgun, you absolutely can. And it is going to use normal shotgun shells. I believe all the shells in this game are 12 gauge or 16 gauge. They're all the same.
12 is what I'm seeing here.
Okay, 12. Unfortunately, we don't have an 1889. You know, my favorite shotgun from the time, but
Which one's that?
that's the lever action from Winchester.
That's right there. Take a look at page 78.
78.
Right at the bottom. Winchester lever action. That is a 4-shot, 12 gauge, even though in reality it was a 6-shot or more in 12 gauge.
I might have just changed that for player experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I would have preferred the it was Spencer something or other. There was a pump action shotgun that came out in the.
Do you guys mind waiting a second? I gotta take my dog out.
Okay.
No. But yeah, I guess my mind just completely blanked out on this. I haven't seen this before. Huh. My guess is because I saw it was only a 4-shot, I saw the Colt revolving shotgun and thought, oh, well, $10 more, you get a better gun. Maybe not as high ROF, but, you know.
Yeah, and now granted, it's still a couple of years too early.
Yeah.
But there was the Spencer shotgun that was a pump action in 1882.
Huh.
Could, however, just get a giant mecha, apparently.
We could, but that's gonna be more money than we can afford. Also, I don't think we have straight up mechs, we only have exosuits. Like, it's not armor, it's literally just the skeleton. The only thing that's an armored moving thing are just robots. Which we could get, but again, more money than we can afford.
Sorry, I had to deal with something and I couldn't quite catch that one.
I'll check to see if they happen to have, I'll see what shotguns they have in Law Dogs. Nope, no, they don't got it. Darn.
Why would do they have special equipment in Log Dogs?
They have a lot more guns in Law Dogs.
Do they have
Uh,
any shotguns in there?
no, all the shotguns in the core are the same in here,
Okay.
except the Lamat revolver. But you know,
That's
you'd
not
rather just get a normal shotgun.
A lament revolver.
Yeah.
It's got a 16 gauge underneath the barrel.
Yes. It
Um,
yeah, the cylinder firing pin, the cylinder pin that holds the cylinder in is a shotgun bore. It's a shotgun barrel.
I'm familiar with the Lamat.
Oh no, I was talking to the other two since you were introducing it to them.
Yeah, and there were actually Lamats at this point in time that were not cap and ball.
That is true. That is very, very true.
Um,
That's one of the few exceptions to the cartridge conversion rule I see. One that makes sense.
well, oddly enough, no, it wasn't so much a cartridge conversion. Lamat was making a pin fire carbine and a pin fire revolver after
Mhm.
the war.
Hmm.
Pin fire is a completely different technology.
Yes, they're freaking hilarious.
If you ever watch, there's actually a pretty good one that Forgotten Weapons did on them.
Yes, there was the Vatican and Naples gun of a firing pin revolver, and that's how I learned about what a firing pin gun was.
Oh, I knew it from the needle rifles.
Ooh, I never looked into those. I really should.
So during they were built in what is now Germany mostly, and that's what the Germans used as a. It was prior to self-contained metallic cartridges. That
Mm-hmm.
was a big. They had a bolt-action rifle that kind of used a needle fire rifle that was out of Prussia, and that's one of the reasons why they think the Prussians might have been able to win the Franco-Prussian War of. It was right around the same time as the Civil War. It's a few years later. I think it might have been 1870 or so. And I think it's a crying shame they don't even have rolling blocks on this. And rolling blocks are one of the most popular weapons in the world that were came out of Remington.
Let me see if Law Dogs have any rolling block rifles. Can you give me some names?
No, that is literally the name, the Remington rolling block.
I only see a model 1871.
From Remington?
Yep,
Is that a pistol or a rifle?
it's a rifle.
Let's see what year the rolling block came out. What does it have for its caliber?
Okay, now calibers in this game are a little centralized, so it's oh no, this is a special one. 5070.
That would probably have been a rolling block. I know what the 5070 was. The 5070 is the precursor to the 4570. But the rolling blocks could actually take a lot more power than that in them.
Yep, here we go. The Springfield model 1871. Several breech-loading weapon designs during the Civil War.
That's the trapdoor.
Yeah, and then in 1865, he would issue a patent for the Remington rolling block, which then became the Springfield model 1871.
That's not historical, I don't think.
Well, this model specifically started as breech loading, but then got a retrofit for rolling block.
Well, yeah, because
okay,
you had the Springfield, the trapdoor Springfield, which is probably what you're talking about, which was built off of it. They chose that instead of the Remington rolling block. I'm looking up right now what the patent dates for the rolling block were. Yeah, they started coming out in 67, but there was no further changing. The rolling block is its own rear action. It's kind of similar to a Sharps, but a lot more it's very simple.
Okay.
It is a breech loader. It was a breech loader that was actually issued up until the French were using them during the First World War in rear areas. But that was probably one of the most issued firearms to militaries in the 1870s through until the Mauser became popular. They were all over the world.
All right.
Okay, I'm back. What are you? What's going on?
We were trying to determine if the Remington rolling block is in this game. I'm seeing that a rolling block is a family of rifles, but
Yes.
I'm not sure which specific one you're talking about. If it's just called the rolling block rifle, I'm having trouble finding it.
It's traditionally it was called the Remington rolling block, and then they'd name whatever caliber it was in. But they made them from 22 short up to like 5120 and everything in between.
Okay.
Not important. It was something to discuss while you were out.
All right. So yeah, if you want a Colt revolving shotgun, you can do that. I will say that if I ever wait, no, you don't want new science modified stuff. Okay.
I'm probably going to go with the double barrel because that kind of
Okay.
makes a little more sense.
Yeah. Plus, speed loading with double barrels is a lot easier because if you fail, you only load one. But if you try and load a fully loaded cylinder into a revolver and you fail, you just drop the whole thing. You get nothing in the gun.
Okay.
So a lot more tolerance for failure with these double barrels.
So when we get to where we're and I will ask you as someone who is familiar with firearms, if you can load me up some shells with rock salt and a couple of shells with silver, I would appreciate it.
Well, I'm not sure where we can source the silver, but I'm sure if I ask the gunsmith, we can probably borrow some of his molds. Unless, of course, you don't care about the aerodynamics of it.
No, I would definitely want to have shot.
All right. Out of character, Marshall, I know you're probably going to try and switch over to try and get Distant involved in the game, and I promise I'm going to shut up in a minute and let you do that, but there's something I really want to do in the meantime so I can roll dice for this. I want to... You ever seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
Yes.
You know that part where the guy who represents the ugly goes to the gun store after he gets abandoned in the desert, and he shows off his talent building guns and, builds a really good revolver?
Mm-hmm.
There are rules for that in this game, called quality guns. You make a fair shooting knowledge roll and a sufficient selection of parts, and if you combine them all together and pay an extra $10, you get a quality gun, which gives you a +1 to shoot for all rolls.
That seems very potent.
Yes. And then I want to slap on a set trigger on it, which gives you another +1 to shoot. Probably good for the reaction speed of an older gentleman.
I'll take whatever I can.
So you're gonna build him a shotgun?
I'm going to take a bunch of shotgun parts, appraise them, and then put together a quality shotgun.
Okay. Roll me in appraise.
Alright, so let's see. The
Is there
roll
anything I can do to help?
let's see. It requires a fair 5 shooting knowledge roll and a sufficient selection of parts. Now, I don't know if you let me use my tinkering instead, but even if you can't, would my mechanically inclined apply since I'm working with machinery?
Yes.
Okay.
For once, yes, that applies.
Yes. Alright. Let's see.
We're finally in your wheelhouse.
Yes. Would you have me use tinkering or my shooting aptitude?
Well, it requires a knowledge of shooting, right?
Well, yeah, you can switch aptitudes and traits all damn day. Like, you could say, oh, you need to learn about a lock, so I'm going to make you roll a lock pick and roll, but using your knowledge attribute instead, or your knowledge trait instead.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have you use your knowledge trait in
Okay.
general.
Oh, just raw knowledge instead of knowledge shooting?
If you have knowledge shooting, go for it. If you don't, then just roll a regular knowledge.
Okay. 8. There we go. After about 10 minutes of swapping parts, sort of looking through barrels and making sure everything's clean and no scratches, I bring into you a quality sawed-off with a set trigger.
Now, what does that set trigger do besides just another +1 to shooting?
Okay, so a hair trigger makes it easier to pull the trigger, but they're dangerous because if you so much as breathe on it, you could probably set the trigger off. So dropping a gun with with a hair trigger is just asking for trouble. A set trigger avoids that because, unlike a hair trigger, in real life, you can push the set trigger to make it easier to pull the trigger and then do it. So it's the benefits of a hair trigger without worrying about setting the gun off. It's just double the price of a hair trigger. So an extra $5.
So how much is this going to set me back?
Alright, so assuming we're doing market price, let's see, it's going to be $10 for the set trigger. It's going to be an extra $10 on top of the normal price, so 20 plus a scatter gun, you're looking at 55.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if the owner's willing to spot me an employee discount since I'm buying in his house or anything.
He's only had you working there for like 1 day.
Yeah,
You don't
okay,
have the reputation for a discount.
that's fair.
I'll pay the 55.
Okay. Can I convince the owner to let me use his molds real quick? I have a client who wants to make a special order for some ammunition.
Sure. Why not?
Alright. Now out of character. Where the hell are we gonna get silver? Wait a minute.
Oh,
This
did
is
I
a
win any?
The mine. Yeah, this is a silver mine in town.
Yes. I'm sure there's gonna be like what do you call it? Like an outpost or a stand where they sell stock? A vendor somewhere? There's gotta be.
Yeah,
I'm
the general
thinking-
store.
I did win some winnings from the miners earlier. I'm sure that was probably in silver.
Yeah. Assuming they're not all paid in company script.
Oh, yeah.
You can head on over to the general store to get a stock of silver.
Alright. Was the guy Sean's character paid in silver
No,
from the miners? Okay.
he was paid in company script.
Alright.
I'm probably out of company script at this point because I would have used that first, and I'll start using the winnings and I'm down to the winnings that I've gotten from the other guy on the stagecoach, because I assume company script is less valuable.
Less valuable overall, yeah.
Less fluid, at least.
Yeah, it's less fluid, at least. In the town itself, it's the same
whatnot.
value as $1, but outside of
Outside of
town,
town.
it just depends on who owns the, you know, the place.
What is... Oh, okay. Now I'm following it.
But yeah, you can head over to the general store if you like. To buy some silver
All right.
or trade for silver, one of the two.
Yeah, I'm looking at this as more of a coach gun style than as a
Having a
sawed off.
silver mine is a bad thing for my character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even in human form, it can be pretty bad.
That's actually kind of wild.
Okay, that was
Yeah, the boat's like empty.
$22 damage. Dang.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, is there a way to put in multiple, or do I just have to put in multiple ranges?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because shotgun has its range rule. I have never thought about that. And how to apply it. Yeah, you might just have to change the number of dice depending on the range every time, which sucks.
Well, no, I'm just going to
Unless...
create a whole bunch of shotguns.
You could also do that and save yourself the trouble. Just set it up once and then just do it whenever. Yeah, 22 is pretty good. Not to mention the fact that with a side-by-side, you can unload both shells in the same action, if you want.
Oh, you're gonna want to buy some salt too. He said he wanted rock salt.
Alright, so how much is that going to cost us?
Well, what's the base price of silver and salt?
Well,
Uh,
the cost of silver bullets, market value, is going to be $40 per bullet. That's just for a silver bullet. I don't know how much for a shell.
Is that also trying to get someone to build it for me? I mean, you're
True.
talking about so a 12
I thought
gauge.
you were gonna build it yourself.
Yeah, 12 gauge. It's whatever. What's the market value of an ounce of silver?
Alright, silver price history, here we go.
Yeah. Plyax will find out.
They give me a chart, but they
I
don't
could
actually give me a number.
also just say a number.
Yeah, I wanted to try that.
Yeah, but I think if there's one thing that's cheaper here than other places, it would be silver.
True. You are absolutely correct. We should actually begin a discount.
So maybe like 50 cents on the ounce.
Alright, here we go. 1880. As of January 1880, the global price of silver was... per ounce was... let me see. Hold on, gotta change that to USD. Global price of silver in 1880 is going to be $1 and 12 cents an ounce.
Yeah, he's gonna charge you 56 on the ounce cents.
Heck yeah!
Nice.
Cause they produce silver here, so it's not as valuable.
I'm gonna go with 8 shots of silver.
Awesome.
All right. How many ounces do I need per shell?
1 ounce per shell.
1
Got
ounce per shell. Yep.
All right.
That is 12 gauge is fairly simple that way with buckshot. It's about an ounce.
All right. And you're definitely getting buckshot, not birdshot or flechette.
I'm definitely getting buckshot because that's what the damage on this is.
But wait, what if we want to keep the animals intact to hunt them?
Buckshot can do that.
Yeah. But what if we get a really small critter? I'm joking. We're probably more focused on making sure they stop moving.
Yes.
All right, and then I'll do my tinkering roll if I can find my smarts, which I can. All right, gonna get it +2, and here we go. 11.
Yeah, that's a success and a raise. So you
All
actually
right.
come out of it with a couple more shells than what you originally were trying to make.
Yeah. Turns out the molds here weren't accounting for the fact that silver shrinks when it's cooling, so you can get just a bit more in 12 gauge. Out of character.
Right.
It's probably not physically possible, but sure, why not?
It could just mean you loaded them better and you gotten one less BB, but it's gonna come out right.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't like overfill them too
So
much.
how do I
Get up in this town?
Yeah.
how do I add up the +2 to shooting on this? Or do we
Oh, that's easy. Just go to your shooting shotgun under deafness.
Yep.
And then on the right box, it says number of dice plus 0. Just put a 2.
So I actually have I should put a 4 here.
Yes, you should put a 4. Shooting with a +4 is really damn good.
You're right.
Well, that should be good because I only have 1 die.
As long as you don't go bust, you'll hit a fair shot every single time.
And you said this is, I'm calling it a greener because those are really good quality English shotguns. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to call it quality and set trigger. So a set trigger on a shotgun makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, set triggers in this game are weird. They're more like inlaid set triggers, like on the Glock, with that safety latch on the trigger.
I fucking hate Glocks.
I love Glocks.
How dare you, sir? Love
What?
Glock.
You don't like something I like? How dare you?
I really found it amusing when InRange made the comment of they're cheaper to buy than to clean.
If that's true, just get a high point and accept the fact it'll jam every other shot.
No, I am definitely a double action, single action fan.
Alright.
Big cocker.
So
And how many shells of rock salt do we got?
so we have to figure out how much is salt on the ounce.
Assuming it's going to be cheap, you can just hand wave it to get things moving. I mean, if this comes to worse, I can help pay for it if you need to.
15 cents on the ounce?
Okay, that's fine. Well, an ounce. Well, it would be that'd be like a pound of salt.
Yeah, 15 cents a pound sounds good.
Yeah, 15 cents a pound. And they sell them in 1 pound, 5 pound, and 10 pound bags.
I'll buy a pound and probably look for. I'm gonna keep some extra, but try to make like 10 shots of this.
All right, so 10 in rock salt, 8 in silver. All right, and I think that's our prep done.
But you
So-
said I got 10 shots of the silver out of it.
Oh yeah, so 10 and 10. 5 loads
10
each.
and 10 and 12 because of your tinkering.
Ooh, 12 silver. Nice. Yeah, so I think that's
no. 10 silver and
12
12
rock
rock salt.
All right.
And then the last thing's going to be
That rock salt.
how much
is
do
for them
regular shotgun shells cost?
Market price is $2 per 20.
Yeah, $2 per 20.
Okay. I'll pick up 40.
And while I'm here, I may as well get some of my backup guns.
starts loading like 17 revolvers into his coat.
I mean, you're right. I'm gonna get some quick draw holsters, some Remington 44 caliber Derringers, and a Bowie knife. Just a treat. Just for a treat.
Just for a treat.
But yes.
Alistair's got his rifle, and that's all he needs.
Yeah.
Just
That's the thing about Alistair. We could be stranded in the middle of the desert and he'll be set.
that's the great thing about having a prepared character.
Yes. So, yeah, that's our turn done.
So
If you want to switch
Distant,
over.
you walk into town. Your owl friend, getting some looks. Or, mechanical falcon, I should say.
Yes. All right.
As people have never seen such a immaculate representation of a falcon in clockwork.
Nice.
And might want to steal it. But they don't try.
Smart.
As you got that mean look in your eye.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you tell me a little bit about the town and unless there's a specific place you me to go, me to be, can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah, starting from up here, we have the saloon.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a boarding house.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. All right.
Here's the weapon store. They don't have, well, now they have a blacksmith or a gunsmith in the form of Klyax, but they used to not be able to manufacture their own weapons. They had to ship in weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You have the bank slash post office down here.
Makes sense.
And then you have the armorer.
All right. And I.
Further up the road, you have a rundown church, a gallows,
Okay.
the sheriff's office, and then on the top of the hill, you have the mayor's mansion.
God, yeah.
I went up to the mayor's in the last question.
Let's see. So I think I only got the idea of the story vaguely in kind of bits and pieces. We're here looking for something specific, yes?
The true philosopher's stone.
Uh,
You're looking for the wish granting MacGuffin.
Makes sense, makes sense.
To transform yourselves back into humans.
Yeah.
Except for Klyax, he's already human.
For the moment.
He gets turned into a double human, which has all of the strengths of a human, but all of the weaknesses of a human.
So it just circles back to being ×1. But yeah. Haven't you seen human history? I am the monster!
Yeah.
The most dangerous monster in this group is me. Can't win in a fist fight,
Man.
but I can hurt you in other ways. Like your feelings.
Or traditionally, just destroy the environment around us.
Hey, I get creative with my killings. Because you deserve excellence from me.
So the adjusted price around here, just so you know, is 30%.
Okay, so just plus 30%?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that'll make it easy, thank you.
Right. Because the other players were there too. Let's say I'm headed to the general store, maybe to pick up some just mechanical bits and pieces to take care of my bird, or I could be on the way to the weapons store again, just make sure my rifle stays tuned up properly.
Oh, would we bump into each other, Marshall?
Yes, you would. You bump into each other, literally.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have this. My character is definitely keeping his hat pulled fairly low over his eyes, so he might have some trouble seeing too far ahead of him. So I think he just kind of blunders into your character.
the price of being cool. General impracticality.
The price of trying to not burn to death in the sun.
That was my second guess. Is it like a wide brim, like Boss of the Plains or Bolero, to try and like act like an umbrella?
Yeah, I think I got the
Is it still daytime, or I thought we are still on the?
Yeah.
I thought we'd pretty much burned most of the day with the time at the mine.
It is sunset at the moment.
It does sound like.
Okay.
I think I have the derby hat, which is pretty wide brimmed.
Oh, derby hats are good too.
Mm-hmm.
What's derby? Oh wait, no, it's not derby.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Sorry, my mind is preoccupied at the moment.
Yeah, my bad.
Hmm.
Let's see. Are you headed into the in character? You headed into the gun store then, I guess.
My guess is I'd either be heading out or just finishing up, unless you have an order to make. But worst comes to worst, I have an idea how to move the story along. It's gonna be something I need to message Squirrel about.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might see me working on something. You might see me possibly being the person you need.
Because off the top of my head, I can't just think of a reason to go up to your character and be like, "So, do you know of the true philosopher's stone?" You know.
Oh, this would be. I. Oh, that ties into our conversation before. Would your character know to shut up about the weird?
I don't know.
That's a conversation between you and the marshal. What do you think, Marshal?
Up to them.
Yeah.
Whether or not they want to keep their mouth shut about the weird or not.
What have the other characters been doing?
Alistair's been fairly adamant on keeping it a secret, though I did show it to.
Oh wait. Secret is actually one of our is one of the hindrances. So yes, I think my character would recognize to not talk about the weird. Except for, I guess, the mechanical bird.
Well, that's mechanical.
Yeah,
Science isn't weird. Science is gladly accepted as normal and perfectly fine.
You see a immaculate-looking clockwork falcon perched on Distant's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello, good sir. The store itself is closing, though I am taking up some stuff for a client. Can I help you with anything?
Oh, been on the road for a bit now, and could use some parts to service my rifle and my bird here.
Well, that would be just wonderful. Now, while it is true that the store owner, not a gunsmith himself, isn't much of a tinkerer, I happen to be here with the other members of the Collegium. I could certainly assist you.
The Collegium are basically like a
Oh,
group
out of
of
character,
scientists.
please let me do it. This is my character's thing. He loves. It's his go-to catchphrase.
Okay, okay, go for it.
I must say, I've never seen an automaton in the shape of an animal before. Aside from the animal of man.
See, my little bird here can act as a spotter for me. It's a little easier to overlook just another falcon than it is some kind of one-eyed heliocopter.
Why, quite right. I'd be curious to see the imprint plate on how it's programmed. The punch card space must be very tiny. Must be difficult to try and get a machine that can program it without making a larger hole than necessary. But anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. I'm a budding scientist myself. I now extend my hand. My name is a thinker. I represent the interests of the Collegium of Science.
The Thinker, that's an interesting name. I'm Marcus Grint.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Grint.
This is at the weapons shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty much at the weapon shop at the moment.
That's what I figured. Basically, I'm just gonna say Alistair's just sitting in the corner trying to not be anywhere near the silver. Yeah.
So, Mr. Grint, what brings you to Death Valley? You don't seem like another miner, unless, of course, you're a fellow associate at the Collegium, given your technical prowess, given your affiliation for the technical.
I don't have much. I don't have much skill with that. I mostly inherited my bird here, but I do know enough to keep her running.
Hmm.
Would there be some way to euphemistically refer to the Philosopher's Stone, or?
Out of character, probably not. You might accidentally bump into the other word, which is Philosopher's Stone, that mad scientists use day to day.
Hmm.
And just like the normal Philosopher's Stones used in all elixirs, not the big one.
Yeah. It doesn't take much
Wish
energy to
branching
figure
rock is
And-
probably the most short you can shorten it to.
Apparently, because we're dumb and in America, we call it the Sorcerer's Stone instead.
Out of character, yeah, that pissed me off when I learned they changed it. If they just kept it the Philosopher's Stone, more kids would have learned about the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a really weird change.
I'm upset. Could have introduced so
Mhm.
many kids to alchemy. Alright.
So, he asked for parts.
Well, we don't have very many parts here other than gun parts, which I suppose I could try and repurpose some bent, out-of-shape metal. However, what you might be able to do is assist me come morning time, and we can go see Dr. Miller. He's a Collegium member proper. He happens to have quite a selection of parts in his laboratory. Since he gets them shipped out, I'm sure he wouldn't mind letting you purchase some.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him in the morning then. In character, thinking that somebody with a lab might have more information on the Philosopher's Stone.
So, what brings you out to Death Valley if you're not a miner? Or an associate of the Collegium?
Oh, now we have that moment where, do I just go in for it, or?
Out of character. You make your decisions. I think who's asking these questions for a reason. I don't think you would know.
Yeah. That's a good.
This is exactly what's happening right now.
What I posted?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever seen that movie or not. It is a great scene.
Just
Yeah.
immediately gets into the proper party formation.
Yeah, right.
Knowing the drill.
Hello,
What you've got to
total stranger.
understand.
You seem
person
trustworthy.
who
Let me
just
give
made
you
the-
all of my personal information.
In that movie,
What movie is that?
the barbarian accidentally kills the wizard in a blue cloak, who's an elven wizard in a blue cloak, and an elven wizard in a red cloak shows up a couple of minutes later, and the GM goes, guys, I want you guys to role play this one." And he just looks at him and goes, "You look trustworthy. Join us."
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to like ease in without taking too much time, since I know it's been an hour. So I'm trying to thread the line just perfectly here to help have a distance character feel with them.
Let's see.
You might
Searching for
also
something.
have heard the rumors about rakes in the mine.
Assuming that's some kind of monster.
Yes.
It's like the creepypasta rake.
Oh, okay.
Not as in the horny old
There
man
we go,
rake.
that one.
The what?
A rake is a 19th century term for effectively a male whore.
Oh.
Mm.
I see.
It's also a gardening implement.
I shouldn't say it is a male whore. Is a someone who gets around a lot.
So a randy old man.
Well, it could be. It could be. It wasn't just old man, but you know, the person is being familiar with a lot of women. So you might have referred to, if it was another time, Casanova as a rake.
Mm-hmm.
See.
But it was very definitely not a. It was a derogatory term.
I see.
I'm looking for something, but perhaps I could ask the professor. You said.
Oh, Dr. Miller. I don't think he was a teacher. Oh, you're looking for something. I don't recall the Collegium producing automatons for animals. Where'd you acquire that fine machine?
I, as player, have no idea.
He looks at you a little scrutinizing.
I don't know who would make animal automatons.
Out of character, you don't have like a set thing where you got it?
No, I haven't really read the setting. It's there's a lot, and I really don't know where to start.
And that's fair. That is very fair. Just exploring and not knowing anything is the easiest way.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, there's a particular group affiliated with the Collegium that do make animal automatons. But they're not officially a part of the Collegium.
Or you could just make it an independent tinkerer scientist.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a guy.
I mean, it could just be a guy. But Doc Miller.
Bob did it. Bob did it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That old Bob Dylan.
Oh God. So, after he died, his deal with the devil for his great music was to go back in time and be a mad scientist. I see.
Yeah.
It was a very odd and heavily negotiated contract.
I was thinking of Bob with an Indian accent.
Oh,
So, how can I help you with
oh
your
God.
problem today? Oh, it looks like you are having many networking issues. By the way, my name is Bob.
Oh gosh. Well, someone with a device that is not particularly placed. You're not here as a minor, and you are and you look like you could handle yourself with a weapon. In Death Valley of all places. Tell me, you wouldn't happen to be affiliated with anyone in the Great Rail War, would you?
Oh, I've said a lot about myself. What about you?
Persuasion.
Me?
Yes, from you.
How do I
Let's see
resist
if I can
this?
do this.
A scrutinize.
Okay, how do
So, persuasion is under mean.
mean?
Yep.
Oh, you forgot to. Oh wait, shit.
I mean, he beats you. You certainly like talking about yourself.
Hmm. Well, I happen to represent, as I said, I represent the interests of the Collegium of Science. Which means, even though I'm only an associate, reporting anyone who could be a threat to the Collegium, such as that of a cartel military-industrial complex terrorist organization, I would not so much as frown if someone would to approach me and tell me of their plans. As a matter of fact, it would make my job rather easy.
So you think he's a Smith and Roberts spy?
Yep. Well, no, I'm judging if he is. Do you happen to be affiliated with or work for Smith and Roberts?
Nope. Independent.
Do I believe him?
He's
What do you
not
roll?
lying.
Yeah.
I
mean, this is actually one of those interesting situations where, like, it might actually be kind of persuasion again, but because,
Yeah, maybe a
mean, or you could keep
persuasion.
the previous role and just be like, look, socially, the other person appears to have the upper hand here. The person wants to tell the truth. You're getting that vibe. You
Yeah,
could say that too.
pretty much that's what you're getting.
Well, okay. It'd be very bad if there was Smith and Roberts out here, especially with the Collegium around.
I'll keep an eye out for them.
Please do. They are an awful organization that'd kill you for any reason to make a profit.
Make sure to steer clear.
So, other than that, I'm just trying to learn more about new science and working here at the gun store and helping Doc Miller with tinkering. You said you're looking for something?
Yes, perhaps the doctor can fill me in a little bit more.
All right. Although, do be wary. We're going to be doing some work in the mines over the next couple days or so, most likely. We fear there's some wildlife in there. You may want to steer clear for a while.
Good to know.
All right. So I'll probably give this person the hookup with Doc Miller, and I don't know if I need to accompany this person, introduce them personally, or what have you.
Yeah, why don't everybody go meet Doc Miller? He's an important character.
All right. Doc Bo, I have someone here who would like some mechanical parts from Dr. Miller. Can we borrow your buckboard? We're going to head over there anyway to get some parts for dealing with the wildlife. Do we have enough space on the buckboard to give this fellow here a ride?
That's fine. Should have plenty of space.
Very wonderful.
So you all get on the buckboard and ride off. Doc Miller's, which it does not have an actual place on the map. But it's a 2 mile ride out to his homestead.
3 days later.
No, that's why I have the horse and buggy.
Yeah, instead you arrive there at nighttime. And
I so do like the nighttime, especially in these hot climates.
Yes.
Cools things off a bit.
Yes. If we weren't on a time crunch, I'd try and respect his sleeping hours and let him sleep till the morning. But something tells me you'd like to get this done soon.
I was still making sure it's not a full moon yet.
Knowledge astrology. Or astronomy, I guess.
or you can just look up.
Or you can just look up.
Yeah,
No, the moon is still in a crescent shape. It's heading towards full, but it's still in a crescent shape.
Waxing gibbous.
Yep.
Alright, so it's growing.
Yes.
Yep.
Full moon out soon.
Not really.
Well, if it's a waxing gibbous, then that means it's going to be a full moon out soon, like some number of days.
I thought waxing gibbous was just getting larger.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Waxing's
But
getting larger, waning is getting smaller.
Yeah, and gibbous means it's more than halfway there.
Oh, okay.
Crescent is less than halfway there.
Oh.
Yeah, Crescent's less than half
Yeah.
gibbous. I was wondering about that. I was trying to figure out in my head if I was remembering it right.
Waxing crescent then.
Yeah, that'd give you a long time.
Yeah, it's a waxing.
Yeah.
Castle community gibbous.
Nice.
But you all pile out of the
Makes sense.
buckboard and knock on the good scientist's door. A few minutes later, his daughter opens the door with a candle in hand, and she's like, "Yes? Oh, it's you, Mr.
Asustra, but you can just call me a thinker. I apologize for me and my associates coming so late at night, but due to Doc Bo's suggestion, we wanted to come over about something of rather important sooner rather than later. Plus, another one here has other reasons.
Cock my head, looking kind of odd.
I sort of looked at you. Did you want to wait till tomorrow?
No, I just don't remember being the person to make a suggestion. You asked if you could use my buckboard, and I said yes.
All right. Well, I guess we're here then.
I imagine this is all in character.
Yeah. I don't know what the sequence of events we're trying to go for is at this point.
The sequence of events is as follows. Distant joins the group. Distant wants to go see Doc Miller. Everybody goes see Doc Miller.
Yes, I had nothing to do with suggesting going to go see Doc Miller.
Oh, I thought we were already on our way, so I was just trying to.
I mean,
No, I was gonna go gambling.
it's important to go there so that you can like draw up the plans for the fans and stuff.
That makes perfect sense to me. I just don't remember suggesting it. So when
I
he said
remember
it,
you suggest. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
as soon as she said it, I kind of cocked my head to the side, like I remember that, and I'm going, that's probably exactly what Doc Bo would be doing. I don't remember suggesting this.
Well, you did suggest you prefer to get things done in the night for whatever reason.
No. I said it is more comfortable in the night.
Out of character, I'm referencing last session when you said that you wanted to get things done sooner so that way you still had your blood feeding on.
Yeah, well, that's going to be gone soon, unless I figure out another way, someone else to eat upon.
Well, we do have we do have a ranch here. So
Well, let me take care of that myself, because I kind of have standards.
ouch. Okay, fine.
Ouch!
I offer you,
Damn.
you just throw it aside.
That is
All right.
true, Distant. You could do that.
I can do what?
That's the first one. So you said in the
Oh yeah.
okay, I only got 3 passes before you could later.
Out of
So
curiosity,
you
I don't know in this game, do we sense each other in any way?
Right.
the two vampires would be able to sense each other as vampires.
Okay.
Same thing if there were two werewolves.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you generally have a monster sense. That is a sixth sense.
So if it was someone of a different species, we could probably tell that there was something, but we wouldn't know the specifics.
Correct.
Okay, so I would have known something was up before he even transformed into a werewolf.
Yeah.
And he probably has a okay.
So
So, might
you
not
would
have
you would have
connected
both known that you're not quite human. You just don't know what.
That is new information to me for how this is running.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't say that sooner. But yeah, it's not like a database where where you could where you're just like, sir, there's a werewolf near you. Well, 10 clicks.
Wouldn't it be funny if someone could do that though?
Shut the fuck up.
It's
Uh, and she just kind of stares at you for a moment and is just like, well, come on in. Pa is in the workshop still.
Wonderful. I hope he maintains a good sleep schedule. I know many scientists and tinkerers are enthusiastic about their work.
You then see the task that you left on the table.
Ah, yes. The task. The only task. It calls to me in my sleep.
The equation for life, the universe, and everything.
Kind of yes,
so I
actually.
was gonna say.
The
Kind of
anti-life
yes.
equation. Have fucking doomsday climax over here.
Deadlands is already enough doomsday. I don't need to make it worse. Alright, so I head down to the lab.
Doc Miller is just working on trying to get his automaton powered, but he isn't very successful with that. so far.
Well, hello, Doc Miller. I had some associates who wanted to speak with you.
He quickly like pulls the tarp over the automaton. Oh yes, come in, come in.
Yes. I apologize for it being so late, but it is a matter of importance.
He has like a one of those weird like goggles that has like a million different lenses that like
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
on, and then he like takes them off and wipes some sweat from his brow. Oh my stars! Look at that contraption! And he immediately goes to your hawk.
That's that's what I was thinking, Dr. Miller. Uh, now what?
He like
He says it's
scratches
for
it
an
underneath the
independent
chin.
scientist.
He like scratches it underneath the chin.
I think it seems to enjoy that.
Brow!
React, kind of leans into it. Mhm.
Oh my, it even has sensory input. This is amazing.
Hmm.
Where did you find this, my boy?
Damn it, people need to stop asking me that.
Well, as long as it's not from Smith and Roberts, I think we'll be all right.
Oh, Smith and Roberts could never pull such a thing off.
I certainly hope they wouldn't, otherwise they'd use it to try and spy on us in the rail wars. Though I get a sense this fellow here is not trying to do any corporate espionage.
No, I'm here for my own reasons.
Now,
You have to help me.
Mr. Grinch, this is Dr. Miller of the Collegium. I'm currently his understudy, if you will. Dr. Miller, this is Mr. Grinch.
Marcus Grant.
Int. That's what I said, yes. My character, I'm bad with names. My character
don't
would
worry,
get them right.
I'm not always great with names either, so.
Okay.
Dr. Miller shakes your hand.
That. All right.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you too.
Well, why don't we go up to the main house and we have some tea?
Sounds excellent.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to very much examine your hawk.
Out of character. You gotta choose a different tone of voice if you're gonna say those words.
Right.
I don't know. Could have other things in mind too.
I'd
You
like.
know.
Stop. Please, Dr. Miller has to be wholesome. He's my hero for like the past hours.
Great Scott!
Oh, yeah, no. Is there any toilet paper flying?
Is he actually a time traveler, and that's why he knows so much science?
Well, that's how new science is done. We just travel to the future. You figured it out.
Next up, we will see a blue phone booth.
Time travel device? You haven't heard of such a thing. Pulls a tarp over his time travel device.
Yeah. I think it's going to be another century before they try time travel again. The last time the Collegium did it didn't end too well. Never saw that scientist again.
Probably because the future is so great.
We can only hope. You'd think he'd at least send a letter. Or a postcard.
Well, that's the thing about the future. You wouldn't be able to get that postcard until the date arrives that the postcard, you can grab it.
I see. I'm learning more and more, Doc Miller. You with your wisdom. Out of character, he means that. I'm being sarcastic. So, well, who would like to ask the great Dr. Miller for help first?
I can do what I can.
Why don't I think in and out of character, I'll let you guys go first. So it could give me a chance to get involved in things.
Dr. Miller, could we, let me start over. Did you hear that the mines have been experiencing some peculiar wildlife recently after a miner got attacked?
Peculiar wildlife? Oh, no, I did not hear that. Though news does not get to me very often.
Uh, we have reason to believe it's, animal in nature.
A bear?
What?
Bear?
I'm not quite sure what its taxonomy is.
We didn't get a lot of specifics.
However, we have a few ways of trying to deal with it. We're thinking a few backups on approach so we don't have to go in and try risking getting hurt ourselves. We're wondering if you could assist us by getting either some sort of gas to choke or smoke them out, one that we can easily remove after the animals have suffocated, as well as maybe a fan system and maybe an ultrasonic repeller, assuming which should work on these animals.
I'm gonna be annoying to Alistair.
He's going to make a knowledge roll.
Oh, you have Dr. Miller statted.
No.
Who's the knowledge roll?
But, I mean, I don't have him in a sheet, but I do have him statted, yes.
Whoa.
We rolled that 10.
Why, yes, I have just the things. But I will have to pull some favors from the Collegium.
I understand.
How urgent would you say that this matter is?
I'll look over to Doc Bo. You're more of an expert in this sort of thing. What do you think?
I would say the sooner we can take care of this menace, the better, and then we can move on to other important matters. I'd hate to have another miner die in the mines.
I see. All right, I will see what I can do. He goes over to his telegraph machine.
Ooh, is it wired or is it a soundless telegraph machine? Wireless telegraph machine.
It's a clockwork telegraph machine.
I am confused. Yeah, I think he's just gonna look at it and be like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he starts typing in. After winding it up, of course.
My character is, of course, fluent in Morse code, so no.
But he basically sits at this telegraph machine for a little while I believe it was Sarah, she gets you guys some tea and some dinner, warmed up stew.
might be a touch suspicious, but Marcus is, of course, going to probably take a little tea, but maybe he'll say that his stomach is a little upset from the travel and decline the stew.
Alistair just sniffs it a little to decide if he wants to eat it.
It smells like rabbit stew.
He just digging. Thank you, man.
I'll thank her.
You're welcome.
Sorry, it's gonna take me a minute to learn.
It's gonna take Doc a minute to do his thing, so.
Your character takes the stew?
Mine.
No.
Yep. I mean, I didn't see anything saying that I can't eat. I just don't get nourishment from it.
Nah, you actually end up like anything you eat, you vomit back up.
Okay. Is that? Didn't see that in there. Kind of like you made
It's
a
actually
comment
under
about
alcohol, drugs, and food on page 119. I can even just paste it if you want.
No, I'll take a look.
Yeah.
It's not immediate, you like vomit it up later though.
At what page for one night of what book?
The Rascals, Varmints, and Critters 2.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Kind of like you threw me for a minute. I didn't think that I'll read that and I'll go through it. I didn't think that vampires were any more susceptible to silver. You seem to be shying away.
Oh, that's Mythic's character who's a werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually take damage from silver.
There's also a visual reaction to it as well. You start to see steam and then singe and then catch on fire.
Oh. Don't realize it was that dramatic.
yeah. I'll
Right.
just push it around. Just don't drink much, and I'll throw it up later.
Yeah, that's kind of my character's plan with the tea, at least.
And even enjoy a good cup of tea. It's a curse, I tell you. Curse!
There's a reason I'm trying to regain my humanity.
I imagine Doc Bo just wants to die.
Ugh.
I still get to do good.
Yeah.
And I tend to feed on people who are not so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Doc Miller comes back. And he's like, alright. So, we can build the fans here. Blueprint should arrive, not too long. Probably tomorrow morning. The gas, however, that's going to take a couple days.
Unfortunate. We might have to see if the mayor's willing to close for at least 3 days, though we might be pushing our luck. I guess we'll just ask him and see what we can do. I'm sure that he may likely be very willing to at least close on the day we set it up, though I'd hate to have miners risk their lives for 2 days straight.
I would hate that as well.
Wouldn't it make sense just to head that way and try to deal with the problem as best we can?
Oh, sure, if you want to just go in and get shot. Wait, no. Risk getting
don't shoot you.
slashed.
Yeah,
That's a mistake.
Ripped apart would be more. I think would be more apropos.
Yeah, out of character. That was a mistake on my part. Oh, sure, if you want to just go in and get slashed. I, however, would like a plan.
Oh, I thought a larger argument was going to.
Nah, it's not worth it.
We had that already once.
Yeah,
He's
we
going
did.
to be the one trying to convince a greedy mayor who owns a mine to shut down the mine for a couple of days. I'm just going to go hit the gambling tables while he's doing that and do something productive.
Yeah, y'all can all do for like a couple days profession stuff
Yeah.
or gambling.
I do have a backup plan if everything fails and we finally get Sean's way of just going in and expecting to not get, hurt. Since one of us is not, undead.
Worst
But-
thing that can happen is that the fans just don't work.
Okay. Out of character, I know we're going to be fine, but my character doesn't want to die. So realistically, why would he go into a deep dark cave with no plan? That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my character's just looking at it like a. Okay, it was hard enough convincing you that that these things were real. Might have been actually easier to deal with this if you still thought they were fictitious. But I'm it just doesn't seem worth the squeeze, if you will.
So what kind of animals are we talking about here?
I don't really know. I'm not an expert. We only heard it from hearsay. Out of character, Sean, I don't know if you ever went to that place to try and use hunch.
Not yet, but maybe the GM will allow me to, because I forgot that that's where I was going to be going when we left off last time. Can I make that roll? Because I would have definitely had time between then and now.
Yeah, sure.
Let me revisit Hunch so I can remember.
Meanwhile, the doctor is examining the clockwork automaton.
They're super.
Yeah, I would have. Well, I would have tried to have gotten access to the grave while the gun was being done. So if I did, and I will now cast Hunch. Let's see. What is the order of operations on this?
Alright, so is hunch a hex or a trick?
It is a hex.
Alright, first things first, roll your hex slinging with the die type of whatever hunch is. So let's see, hex is H. Hunches and huxers and hexes, yeah?
I've got the full thing written out.
Okay.
So, Hunch is okay, self. It is cognition.
Okay.
Let's see if this works.
So yeah, hex slinging, D, cognition.
So 15.
Oh, that's really good. Okay, so what you do next is you draw playing cards in the roll 20. So you click and drag them onto the screen. Or you might be able to just click draw and then just have it be in your personal hand.
How many do I can just draw them off here. So does the GM have to shuffle them first?
I mean, presumably they're shuffled, but if they're not, the GM can shuffle them now.
Yeah, they're shuffled now.
And how many do I draw with a 15?
Okay, so you draw 5, and then you draw an extra card for every other consecutive 5. So every 5 you draw an extra card. So 5 you draw 5, 10 you draw 6, 15 you draw 7.
2, 3, 4.
Alright, you got a pair so far.
I got 2 pair.
There you go, that's the minimum. Do you
I can-
have Old Hand?
Yes, I do.
You have a choice. You can either draw as many more as you want up to the maximum to try and get a higher hand so you can learn more, or you can just call it quits now and not take any risk. Up to you.
Let me think. What? So it only is really bad if I draw a Joker, right?
A black Joker specifically. That's a 1 in 54. Well, it's actually 1 in 49
Yeah.
now.
So I'm going to do at least one more.
Ooh,
I'm
full
gonna
house.
stop at a full house.
You're gonna
Queens
call it
over
quits. You're gonna
Jacks.
keep going.
No, can't I stop at any time?
Yes, you can. You're gonna call it quits, or you're gonna keep going.
I'm not going to get better than Queens over Jacks.
I mean, theoretically, you could.
No, I could draw the last queen.
True. Yeah.
That is the only way I could make this better.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have given you a different deck that was limited. The one that I have currently is
What is?
All right. Full house. I don't think the hucksters section has a hand table, and I don't.
I'm looking at it. But yeah, so a full house is above a straight. So poker hand. Take a look on page 159. So I normally need to get 2 pair. I am 1, 2, 3, 4 steps beyond that.
Poker, but it's Balatro for some reason.
What?
Oh wait, I did. Yeah, mostly talking to Mythic, but even attention. Oh, I said poker, but it's Balatro for some reason. That's funny. That's funny.
All right.
Draws a shiny 2 of clubs and also like the tower for some reason in his poker hand.
So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of information here. Since anything above the minimum, you learn more. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 raises. That's really good.
Yeah, and theoretically, the only thing I could do would be get another queen, which would give me a 5th.
Or with the same risk that you could draw a black Joker. In fact, they're equally as likely you could draw either at this point.
Yeah, but I'm gonna as I said, I'm stopping where I am. I got a full house.
Yeah, smart.
How the hell did I draw 2 queens of spades?
What the?
because this is an infinite deck.
Oh.
It's the one that I use for initiative.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I think
should've-
it's for me too.
I should have given you your own deck.
Yep.
Yeah. At least one that Sean and I can share, or one for each of us.
So, right under, there's not an icon for it, but there's new deck.
Yep.
That's a limited deck.
Okay. Can we keep the full house just for the sake of time?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Didn't take 5 minutes. Then it was just 10 minutes of talking about the hex itself. See, it's not long.
We'll see. let's hope on that one. Let's see what a full house gets me.
4 raises, you should be getting a lot.
I'll at least know how many of them are in there and possibly where they're coming from and to.
Yes, knowing if there's a secret exit or something. In fact, you might have even been able to tell a Thinker that before we even got to the mansion, to the estate, homestead. There we go.
How about, well, let's do this simple. I went upstairs to play solitaire while you guys were talking. Well, I had some item of the old miners or something, and did this while you guys were going. So, because if it's depending on this information, I might have just gone, let's just go.
So what are the questions that you want to ask?
So, I'm trying to, let me repaste.
I need you to be very specific.
Okay. So, let me reread this description because I don't like the fact it's so small.
Right. But you need to give me specific questions.
So, I'm wondering how he died. I'm wondering where it was within the mines that he died.
We'll take this one at a time.
Okay.
So, how did he die? The miner's spirit whispers in your ear. I was.
Okay, so I'm getting from the miner's spirit.
Game Marshal, while I'm perfectly cool with you flavoring things however you want, I do gotta let you know that asking undead spirits questions is an entirely different thing, and is a lot harder to do. Again, you can flavor it however you like, but if you're doing it specifically from the soul's perspective, that is an entirely different power with its own consequences and pros and cons.
I was trying to get an image of how he was killed.
Yeah.
Well, he just shows you that his arm, he was suddenly yanked about 50 meters into the caves, and his arm started to rip off.
Now, am I seeing this, or is it just describing it to me?
You're seeing it. I was thinking
of this more like remote viewing. Was it one creature that attacked him, or multiple?
He actually didn't see the creature.
Yes, but am I able to see what was happening to him when it happened? Or is it just what he's describing to me? Because
it is from his perspective that you can see.
Okay. The way I was reading this would be more like object reading, or remote viewing. So it's not that I'm seeing the event, he's telling me about the event.
So it seems like I'm not in chat. Weird. But I can't rejoin chat because I'm still in it.
You're in chat.
Exit on your phone.
I can hear someone.
That was my first thought. Weird. Let's me join on my phone.
Yeah, join in the next. That's how I got it.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So I'm only getting information from him then. I'm not actually seeing what happened.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's going to be mostly useless.
With 4 raises, this guy better have fucking seen something.
Yeah, apparently not.
Look, I'm working with what the spell is giving me.
I mean, the spell's saying that it's hunch. Like, the huckster should have a feeling of what happened in the general determination of what happened to this target,
which is why I wanted questions.
Yeah, but you want questions, you're shutting it down. I don't know how else to. This man was dead quickly, and I only know what he knew and what he saw, and he saw nothing. There are no questions to follow up. This is not
Right.
running
I
away.
mean, we can rework this in a different way. Like, you had a problem with me giving the answers through a spirit.
It's not so much giving the answers through a spirit. The guy was dead pretty damn quickly. There's nothing that's going to be coming off of him, and I don't think I'm going to get because he wouldn't have known what it was.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I brought up, hey, if you're doing it this way, it becomes subjective instead of objective. And this is something that can happen, where the guy just doesn't know anything.
I'm not seeing what happened to the corpse, which is what I was hoping it was going to be more like. But we can just move on if you don't want to give out info.
It's not that I don't want to give out info. It's that I'm limited in the amount of info that I can give based on what type of like what type of viewing the past this is. If this was a okay, break it down, walk around, remote viewing type thing, then sure, yeah, I can give you that. But if it's not, then it's, you know,
Well, it's called hunch. Why not just give him a hunch and make it
Just
based
give me
on
a second.
phrases?
Give me a second,
Sure,
Klyak.
take your time.
We can just move on. Otherwise, I'm reading the spell's description again to see if I'm missing something on how it works. Let's see. If successful, the magician has a brief vision, feeling, or hunch about some events that happened to the target's past. And if all I'm going to get is what happened to a man who died quickly, then it's just not going to work the way I was hoping to. And we can move on. And if you're going to run it as a commune with this dead man, then I don't really understand how I'm going to get any information that is useful. So let's just move the game on.
okay. So yeah, that's what you get. You get the vision of he's walking back through a tunnel, and then suddenly he's ripped from his feet and is dragged afterwards by his arm 50 meters really quickly.
And I would want to get that in.
We can't hear you.
Oh, I was saying, I don't know. One of the questions I'd ask if I were the one using the ability is like things like, are there any like distinctive things that indicate it being like a part of a specific part of a mine or something like that? You can target where it maybe lurks. I don't know.
He gave us where the attack happened from.
Yep.
I mean, it was outside of the mine when he was attacked and dragged.
Okay, I thought he was in the mine.
No, he is still in the mine when he's attacked. He's going through a tunnel at the moment.
Yeah,
and then suddenly ripped from his feet, and then grabbed by the arm and dragged really quickly.
basically what I was just saying is what I'd be asking is that were there any distinctive parts of the mine that could be used to narrow down the area?
Yeah, you could ask questions about like the mine itself. because he would have knowledge of that.
Let's just move the game forward.
Okay. So, that's the information that you get. What do you do with it?
It's useless, so I don't do anything with it.
Okay, so you go back downstairs.
No, I'll just set up and continue to play solitaires.
Alright, so Dr. Miller talked about getting the things. Thinker's gonna just try and convince the mayor how much we can do stuff, and if that fails, then Thinker has one more question for Dr. Miller before turning over the conversation. Dr. Miller, now, I may not be a new scientist. However, we are going to have people go down there to check these, whatever this wildlife is. You asked what kind it was. I'm really not sure. I'm not the investigative party here. Mainly just trying to help clean it up. And that's the honest truth. I'm not really sure. However, if I am going to be part of the group going down there, do you have a junkyard or something where I could secure parts? Maybe of cast iron or tin? I have a protective project in mind.
Well, there is a scrap pile that I keep.
Well, if you let me borrow materials, assuming I come back alive, I'm sure I could easily disassemble what I'm thinking, if you'd like to keep the parts. I think you might be impressed with what a classical scientist and tinkerer can do.
Perhaps so.
Alright, so out of character, I have a theory. I, even though I'm not a new scientist, would like to build, pausing for dramatic effect, and where is it? I would like to build this. Out of cast iron and tin.
Gonna build yourself an Iron Man suit.
Yes.
Of course.
It's not powered because I'm not a mad scientist, but it's okay. I mean, it almost worked for Ned Kelly.
It would be like wearing plate armor, yeah.
Yes. But it is armor, and that's my backup plan. If all else fails and we just go in, I at least would have confidence going in if I had this.
I mean, you have 2 days, so you can start on it.
Okay. And that's me. I'm done. Now, what would you like, Mr. Grint?
Let's see. Would you mind if I've, while they're figuring this out, if I've, taken off upstairs to speak to, our old man whose name I am having trouble remembering as
Doc
a player?
Bo.
Doc what?
Doc Bo.
Doc Bo, yes. I think he might be here for the same reason I am, so...
You there, Sean?
Yep.
Okay.
I can give Sean a minute. I'll ask,
No, if you want to
Doc
ask me
here
something, you
then.
can ask me something.
Okay.
I just put it on mute because of noise in the background, and I didn't want to.
Okay. Marcus will head upstairs. Hello. Wouldn't mind a minute to talk to you alone.
Okay.
Uh,
How about I go? I take up my pipe and load it up. Why don't we go? I'm gonna head out for a little bit of a smoke.
Sounds good.
By the way, Distant, you have the same exact item that Sean has. A item that is in the form of whatever you'd like, but it is an item that protects you from the sun.
That makes sense. There's
You
like
do
showers,
take a negative penalty during the day to all of your physical rolls,
understandable.
and
Is
that's
that if they're just in the sun, or is that just
direct
like
sunlight.
okay?
They won't die, but they take a penalty.
We'll live, but we don't enjoy it.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, that penalty was just a -2.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So, Doc Bo, was it?
Yes.
Is it safe to assume that you're here for the same reason I am? And he will give a.
You can assume what you want. But I have absolutely no idea what you're looking for, son.
So you haven't sensed anything then?
Not that I'm aware of.
Hmm.
Why don't you tell me why you're here and we can figure things out?
You guys are both vampires. That's what you're alluding to, is being able to sense each other.
Yes. But now he's being cagey, so. Hmm.
Well,
Out of character, you both are looking for like the
Yeah.
the true philosopher's stone for your own reasons. Uh,
I get that, but let's face it. When someone says, "I assume you're here for the same reason I'm here," without giving any explanation as to why they're here,
yeah, no, it's very vague.
it's more than vague.
You could feel like you could mention that you both do the same thing.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was expecting some kind of like vague aside, and then I was going to lead into it, but you basically just got like a no, probably not. So
Okay, I
now
can
my
let back
character
in.
kind of thinks you're up to you're more up to something, you know?
You can think what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. It is lay funny.
If that's all you have, youngin,
Perhaps my hunch has led me wrong.
well, you've given me no
I
information, so I
apologize.
can't help
Have a
you.
good evening.
I do hope that you at least will recognize that some of us try to keep our privacy.
Are people talking?
Not right now. He said, "I hope you understand that some people try to keep their privacy, but that's all that was said."
Okay. Can someone say something?
Hello,
I
hello.
can hear you.
Muda, muda,
Okay.
muda.
Right. Look, going fast has its pull. Anyway, sorry, I was just afraid that the connection had uh, degraded to the point where I basically couldn't hear anything because, well, there's kind of a storm here, and the internet's been
Bad.
a little funny all day.
Yeah, I got it. I got hit by an ice storm.
Yep.
Gotta love the North.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so while those two are outside, uh, Mythic and Cly are inside talking to Doc Miller.
Okay. What did you say?
I absolutely does. Continue.
No, I just fell out on the call. Okay.
Oh no.
There we go.
You good?
Yes.
You're asking what we're doing?
Back apparently.
Yeah, so you're gonna go actually for the 2 days, right? We're gonna move on and now have downtime for 2 days.
I would have eventually asked the other doctor, but
Oh yeah. I forgot that you had something that you wanted to talk to Doc Miller about. My bad.
I just thought as a scientist in the area, he might have an interest in the true philosopher's stone, so he might know where it is, you know.
Makes sense.
Well, your clue, right? Everybody's
Mhm.
clue is that some ganger has it
Mm.
that fancies
Okay.
himself a warlord in the area.
Uh, okay, then that's probably what I would be asking about then.
No, I don't much right know about that. But I do know the legend of the true philosopher's stone.
Oh, please tell.
Hmm.
It is a wish-granting stone, people say, powered by the souls of thousands of dead people. Once you wish for something, that power goes away, and it becomes nothing but a normal rock. But you had to have done something quite horrible in order to get one. Mainly stuffing over thousands of people's souls into, well, stone.
That.
Now, I don't believe in the soul, but I do believe in energy.
Still requires